season. They brought Hugo Colasanti back into the side today. There's big Hugo behind the pack at the moment, warming up. He started on the interchange bench, and Campbell was a player out injured. So a fairly settled Woodville side from the side that had done pretty well at the same oval against Port Adelaide in the last game that they had played in. For Norwood today, still out of the side, of course, Philip Gallagher and Greg Nicholson both injured. Andrew Ace played in the reserves today and got some touches. Bruce Winter dropped out of the side. He was missing his first game for the 1982 season, and coming into the side, Tom Warhurst, who had recovered. They'd made a couple of positional changes, Noble going to fullback and Warhurst going into the back pocket, and Jenkins coming from a half-back flank back onto the centre wing, where he's made a name for himself in league football. So two of the strong men, I suppose you could say, in league football in South Australia. Jim Till, Norwood centre half-back, and Max Parker, the Woodville fullback, taking the toss at the Adelaide Oval. As I said, there was a very good crowd in attendance. I think probably the biggest crowd for the year as far as Woodville was concerned, over 7,000, and in the commentary position with me at the start of the game, Robert Oatey. Start of the game of the Adelaide Oval, Norwood against Woodville. Only 10 points between the two sides earlier in the year at the Woodville Oval. Good crowd in attendance, perfect conditions. Michael Aney won the tap to Greg Thomas. Till won the toss. High tackle on Thomas, who'll take a free kick against Lindsay Heaven. Heaven coming up from the back pocket. Thomas plays on quickly. Drop punt towards the goal front. Hine from the back, Button the front. Parker did well. Roberts got 10 last start. There's his snap. It's going to go through. What a start by Neville Roberts. Brilliant goal. Norwood a goal. Woodville haven't scored. 30 seconds in.
Yes, he's certainly in form on the goal-kicking department. Bruce has a beautifully controlled kick. Read the offhands. Max Parker spoiled the ball away. Roberts was there to scout the spoil. He's ever aware of that fact. I think forwards these days, Bruce, if they realise that the back men are going to spoil that ball away and get down in the front of the packs, they're going to pick themselves up a few loose flying balls, and Neville Roberts in great form.
Just to start, Neil Barham wanted. Michael Aney McLeod. McLeod won that one. Fosdyke. Handball came unstuck, but he got it back to Lachlan in the centre. Lachlan took a long time. Drop punt towards Roberts. Couldn't take that one. Well done by McCormack. Roberts gets back on it. Towards Button. Heaven. Heaven will get a free kick.
Yes, Heaven made a bad mistake with that tackle on young Greg Thomas early in the game. And Neeson's got a big job on Roberts this afternoon. Outer side of the ground. It's Beecroft spoiling away, but it's McLeod that gets the free kick. It was interfered with. Short kick. Just quietly down to Andrew Matheson, dropping down from the wing to the half-forward line. Woodville go into attack fairly slowly at this stage. It's a screw punt into the full forward area. John Parker flying very high. Adler off hands, wide to this pocket, deep pockets here at Adelaide Oval. Duncan Fosdyke for Norwood. And Andrew Ace, Michael Ace. Andrew Ace in the early game. Wayne Schmal into half forward. McIntosh from the front spot. Button from the back. Off hands and out of bounds.
Sun shining brightly. Norwood a goal. Woodville haven't scored. Roberts got the goal after 30 seconds. Button playing centre half forward. McLeod against him. McLeod makes the front position. Neither player gets an effective tap. Keith Thomas, quick kick. Another number 7, I should say. Lindsay Heaven.
Bad tackle by Thomas.
And bad kick by Heaven because it found Jenkins. Always danger. Jenkins to Michael Aish. Last year's McGarry medalist goes to Keith Thomas and finds him. He's got Rocky Roberts short. That's the way it's going.
Neville Roberts on the receiving end. Easton's got to learn to play alongside of him. It's no good playing him from 10 metres in front.
Roberts went to play on. Now he's going back over the mark. He's played 112 games, 242 goals prior to today. He's been injured, I think, for 4 of the matches this season. He's kicked 41 goals. Of course, he got 10 at Unley last week, or the week before last, the last time Norwood played. That's gone straight through. Roberts has got 2 goals within 3 minutes, and that's the score at Adelaide.
That's twice Lindsay Heaven has been near the play, and twice he's caused the 2 goals. Neville Roberts, 2 goals coming from Everest from Lindsay Heaven. His first one, a very bad tackle on Greg Thomas at the centre of the ground, which Roberts read off hands. But on that occasion, Lindsay Heaven from the back pocket evaded a tackle from Greg Thomas, brushed him off, and then just kicked the ball straight across to the centre of the ground. And finally, it was Michael Ace just running on across to Thomas, and Thomas onto Neville Roberts. Yes, Max Parker will kick the ball in. for Woodville, their captain, coming to the grandstand side towards Heaven and Keith Thomas. And once again we see Keith Thomas showing that sure ball handling skill. Straight back into the goal square. Big Hind from the back's got the run, but Parker's too tall, nearly holds the ball. Ducking underneath is Greg Thomas, and he'll be lucky not to be penalised for holding the ball. He in fact ducked under the tackle and tried to shrug it off. The umpire didn't part for around the neck, and he didn't get rid of it. Unfortunate. Knocked away by Button. Ball taken by Shear, up from the centre of the ground, kicked back towards Michael Aish.
Robert Bolton playing on Michael Aish as he did on Mark Nady the last time we saw them.
Right, and the ball kicked forward, and once again, it's Thomas. Greg Thomas. Small rover. He's played very well since filling in. Michael Annie just jogging up the ground, unattended, and takes the mark.
That's loose, isn't it, Robert?
It's what happens. You see, Woodville are allowing all the Norwood players to play back across the centre, and their big ruckman, Tim McLeod's dropping back into the goal square. Well, Michael Annie, all due credit to him, showing great deal of initiative, dropping inside centre half forward for the short kick and gets it and scores a goal. Well done, Jim Michael Annie. A little bit of initiative. Good to see a footballer thinking a little bit. Opportunity for his side. Norwood 3 goals, 2. Woodville 2 points.
Greg Thomas from about 60 metres out. Probably too far out for him, despite the fact he's kicking to the scoring end, which is the southern end today. Went short to Michael Annie. And Michael Annie, who's a very accurate kick, he's kicked 205 goals now in league football in 119 games, so he's averaging almost 2 goals a game, made no mistake.
To McLeod and Michael Annie. Ball coming sideways towards the Rovers. Macareth and Thomas. Keith Thomas it is. Oh, geez, a beautiful footballer. Over half forward on his wrong foot, his left, and the big fellow, Neil Button, strong as ever, well within his distance, no need for him to play on. He'll kick this distance quite simply. It's a matter of the accuracy, I'd say. He'd have to do his worst kick to miss the distance.
Did a drop kick here the last time we saw them at the Adelaide Oval against West. Drop pump by Button is a very strong kick. It's gone straight through. The Norwood former champion Ruckman is now playing in centre half forward, has got his first, and the Redlegs are off to a flying start. They're 4-2-26, Woodville 2 points.
Yes, they'll find Neil Button a great advantage to them on that half forward line. He can do all that rucking that's required in the forward line, and what an excellent ruckman he is. And if he can find a body, of course, inside half forward, that'll be a shot for goal. He'll be great advantage to them.
4-2 to 2 points. I'm not sure what Neil Baum's doing with Lachlan, but he's playing him on the forward line, and either Keith Thomas or Michael Aish are playing in the centre. Michael Annie with a free kick.
Tim McLeod arguing, Bruce, with the umpire. Be paying to get mobile quickly. It's not going to help. Kicking wide to Keith Thomas. Thomas just dropping up the ground, leaving players unattended. Controlled kick into Greg Thomas in the forward pocket. Beautiful kick, Keith Thomas. Finding Greg Thomas, 15 to 20 metres from goal. Norwood lining up now for their 5th.
Bit unlucky not to have got a 15-metre penalty, I thought there.
Yes, he certainly ran into him. I'm not sure just how hard he tackled him, whether in fact he fell over with the contact, Bruce. But still, it should be no worry. Kicks it as hard as he can. He certainly put his leg through that ball. He wasn't going to freeze on it. It's a goal to Greg Thomas. Norwood 5 goals, 2. Leading Woodville 2 points.
Norwood setting up the loose man repeatedly at this stage. Keith Thomas has been a big plus factor for them, and Greg Thomas stood his ground and took a strong mark.
That's the second free kick that Tim McLeod's given in the ruck. He's got to get at the ball. Mustn't allow himself to get behind. There's shepherding against the Woodville player, in fact. He is shepherding.
Yes, I think that'll go against here. He's just standing direct, and then he tries to trip Michael Aish up.
Yes, I don't know what the boy's trying to do. It's not going to help his cause. Norwood with the footy.
He was just standing right in the road of Michael Annie, giving him no chance to run at it, straight in front of the umpire. Not clever as Michael Annie goes towards Button. Woodville have got to balance up, and balance up quickly. Matheson to the outer side. Stepper leading in the race for the ball, and this is just what they didn't want, Robert. They're 5 behind, and we've been playing 15 minutes.
Yes, Norwood are renowned for starting well. They'll come out in the game. If they want to start playing the body, Norwood will accommodate them quite well at that department, I'd say.
Shear over the top.
Pushed in the back.
Kick to half forward. John Parker, Tom Warhurst against him, and there'll be a ball in.
Out of bounds half forward for Woodville. They need to score very quickly. They need a couple of scores. Got to start getting some ascendancy in the ruck. Big John Parker. Michael Annie, though, too good. On the left hand, recovers his own knock. Out towards Adler. Adler to half forward. Button under it. Takes the ball on a second grab, but just can't quite hold it. Matheson running away. Long kick over the half-forward line. May have been McCormick, in fact, that ran away. Macareth, long towards John Parker, coming in towards Fuller. He can't get the ball to boot. Good defensive action by the Norwood side. And they've stalemated the ball right in front of the goal square for Woodville. That was, in fact, Simpson that ran away from half-back. Bruce, I knew the movement, just missed it for a while. Beautiful movement, too.
Fuller a bit unlucky there. He had the chance. Michael Laney against John Parker, and again a free kick against Woodville in the ruck.
I've got no idea what's happening. The Norwood coming in on the check side, or on the defensive side, whatever you like to call it, opposed directly to the ruckman. They're just pushing them in the back.
Jim Michael Laney started very, very well. Jenkins, Woodville very loose at the moment. Jenkins towards the centre. Laughlin's got 5 metres at least. Is he going to pay it? No. Lindsay Heaven plays on quickly. McLaughlin was looking to do what he'd do with it before taking it. Matheson towards centre half forward. John Parker almost getting back on it. Noble, he'll play it towards Schmal. Didn't play it all that well towards Schmal. Macareth, Adler, free kick to Macareth. Noble did poorly then.
I thought it was a bit of a dive, Bruce. Didn't try to keep his feet. I think when the body came to him, instead of then attempting to pick up the ball, tried to dive on top of it, and the umpire behind him, blocked by the players. I think Brett Macareth a little bit fortunate still. Bit of fortune will be handy for Woodville at this stage. If they can score a goal, it's a very important one.
30 metres out, 30-degree angle. Get a good view of him from here. Missed it completely. Across the face of goal. Front spot, Beecroft, and he's been paid it. He's an important player for Woodville. Hasn't fired this season. Kicked 7 against North Adelaide at this Oval early in the year, but has been disappointing since.
Big tall man, Bruce. A very strong man.
Max Parker coming out from fullback, having a word to the field umpire, obviously about the ruck infringements, as Beecroft gets the first for Woodville. They're 1-2-8, Norwood a 5-2-32 as Parker jogs back to fullback.
I'm not so sure that that's the end thing. Why does the captain have to come down and start talking to the umpire about that sort of infringement? I think it's imperative that the Woodville ruckman get in front. That's what they need to do at this point of time. That was well done, though, nevertheless, by Big Beecroft. It was a very bad kick by Brett Macareth as he came across the goal. But Beecroft, just a bit too tall. He's a big man. He's certainly almost a head above Jim Teal, and Jim Teal's very, very strong, as we know. But in height department, Bob Beecroft got a bit on him. Hitting the outside edge of his boot as Max Parker brings the ball in for Woodville. Hind from the back. Then coming over the top of them is Simpson. McIntosh. Neagle. Roberts standing up here on his own. Parker. Lucky bounce there for Simpson. Clears it long and strong to the centre. That's a bit of an attacking move. And Woodville getting the ball through Coop. Now McCormack. Centre half-back Pearson. That's a better movement from half-back then Bruce, but the half-back Simpson, he took a chance. He went for a jump on the fly-off, and Roberts was standing in the pocket, and just a lucky deflection off Max Parker's leg, I would say, saved Norwood's 8th.
Strong kick by Pearson, didn't quite get onto it, but Beecroft marked it.
Standing
a worry, isn't he?
Oh, the standing jump, Bruce. Jim Teal not tall enough just on the standing jump.
Wastes no time and puts through his second, and Woodville's second, so Beecroft's got 2 in the first quarter. Woodville's dangerous forward at the moment, and it's 2-3 to 7-3, 5 goals the difference.
Yes, when standing a player like Neville Roberts requires a great deal of discipline because he's such a skilled player, even though he's prepared at times not to check you, and you can say, oh, I had 20 kicks this afternoon. The point is, if you let him have 7, Bruce, he kicks 7 goals. And so therefore you've got to pay a little bit of attention to him and just sacrifice your own personal kicking game to keep him in check.
Hind in the ruck against John Parker. Bolton still side by side with Michael Aish. Hind tapped it down towards Keith Thomas, or Keith Thomas it was. Still back in the centre, free kick to Michael Aish.
See, they're getting it after the ball, much harder than Norwood at that centre area, Bruce.
Much harder than Woodville.
Woodville.
Michael Aish towards half forward. McIntosh with a fly. Shear in the front spot takes the mark. Shear started off in the centre, dropped punt. Outer side, took a chance, but got away with it as he finds Matheson. Matheson a bit lucky there, held by Thomas, and then tried to shrug him off. 15 metres straight away would have stopped that, Bruce. Towards Beecroft. Hind and Teal against him. He's a bit of a worry. They're using 2 against Beecroft. Coop, Stepper put out the foot. Coop took too long. Finally to Matheson. Run down brilliantly by Adler. Keith Thomas, a little one to Neagle. It sat for Neagle. Back to Stemper. Now Stemper had Jenkins if he wanted him, but he went longer towards Button. Taking off early was McCormack. Button thumps it on. Now, if they could get it over towards, well, it's Greg Thomas anyway. Now, he's got Roberts in the goal square, but he's got to go for the goal and just miss behind. They had a number of permutations there, Norwood. It's 7-4 to 2-3.
I like that word, permutations. I think I did that in matric maths somewhere along the track. Caused me a bit of trouble. Combinations, permutations, and whatever else you like to select. But Greg Thomas did the right thing in the end. If they could have got it on early, I saw McIntosh try to knock it on, but Thomas's take was too clean. He took the ball too cleanly off the top of the pack, and he had to go for the goal. He's just inaccurate. Keith Thomas now, from Max Parker's kick in, plays on, not wasting any time. Roberts dropping back, and this time Simpson comes in. Roberts will not have the pace to catch him, but he's only got to be with him, because they'll look for him. Lennon into half forward to Macareth, takes the mark. They'll get some rebound from half back as long as they stand on Roberts, because he'll get where the ball is. Long kick over half forward. Beecroft from the back, this time Teal in front. Running on down the ground there was Lennon. Woodville playing on, and there's been a bit of a change. We've seen McCormack up forward, and Fuller's caught with the ball, holding it to him. There'll be a bounce down on the half-forward line. I'm a bit lost at the moment, Bruce, where McCormack came from. He's rattled down here from centre-half back.
She is playing centre-half back now, Robert McCormack, I think, playing in the centre. Home won the tap towards Teal, making some changes, Rod Olsen.
Yes, he's had to.
Well, they've been...
Well, Chris Shear was completely out of sorts at the centre. He wasn't even cool, Bruce. He lost all calmness and control at the ball. He was worrying about the bodies more than the football, I think.
Neil Hine and John Parker, half forward for Woodville. Goal here would be handy just before quarter time. Fuller, Schmal, Stemper, back towards Schmal. Neagle stood his ground well against Parker. Fuller over the top. Coop, very good tackle by Stemper.
Shear.
Shear's got it now. He's come up from centre half
yes,
back.
They swapped over again, Bruce, while you were calling that play.
Teal back towards Jenkins. Over the top towards Thomas.
He's wonderful, and he knew that fellow was there. Magnificent football.
That was cheeky, wasn't it? He got it to Fosdyke, and Fosdyke will go towards Button, but McCormack will take it. Might have been out of bounds on the fall anyway.
Yes, wasn't well done by Fosdyke. He had the opportunity. I think he should kick this into the pocket if he can. That kick wasn't on. Bit unfortunate, Neil Button there. The player not showing a great deal of common sense. Moved back 3 metres behind the mark, and then tried to kick it across the ground. Very fortunate. McCormack ran fairly close again. Beautifully controlled kick to the full forward area. It's a free kick against Noble. Just pushing Pearson out of the road so that his teammate could mark the ball. Very foolish football.
Bob Beecroft's lost a contact lens at centre half forward. I think they've found it as Pearson puts it through for his first, and Woodville get to 3-3 to 7-4, and Beecroft, they're still looking for that contact lens on a half forward flank.
Yes, that's a very handy goal there. Very foolish by Noble. They're the sort of things that fullbacks don't have to do. If he wishes to block the player's run, he can at least block in front of him and come in with him for the ball. But he just ran straight into it to Pearson, and Pearson given an easy shot for goal from 10 metres, and it has meant that Woodville now back into the game a little bit, 4 behind. Another quick goal here would be very handy.
Nord maintaining their consistency, 7 in the first quarter and at 6 in the second. Free kick against Woodville. Now, must have had more than 4 players in the square, and Michael H quickly plays it on to Keith Thomas over the top. Oh, he caught one too afterwards. I think that'll be a free kick, and it'll go to Neagle, and Neagle plays on to Fosdyke, and Fosdyke takes the mark at centre half forward. Now, the umpire's spoken to a Woodville player, but I think that's all he did. Woodville getting loose, Robert, on the tackle a couple of times there.
It's pretty loose if it's after disposal, that's for certain.
Fosdyke, normally an accurate kick. Straight through. It's 14-10 to 6-3. Fosdyke has got his first, and Norwood running right away with it now at the Adelaide Oval. Have been playing 28 minutes.
Yes, Norwood are far too powerful in their attack on the ball. Their surety of disposal is much better than that of Woodville's also. They've got players ready to receive when they take possession. When a Norwood player takes possession, he's moving at the ball confidently, and his teammates are running to receive equally as confidently.
Hine against Parker. Hine won the tap. Greg Thomas, all too easy just at the moment, towards centre half forward. Button did that well, didn't he?
He's the man who's done the job this quarter, Bruce. He's had a terrific quarter.
Scanlon to Roberts. Roberts has to go back, then cops a high tackle. He'll get a free kick, but he went to his left-hand side and then decided to run back, and he had 3 against him, but it was a high tackle.
Yes, he did it pretty well. He lifted the ball up. I'm not sure that he wasn't tackled by the arm a little bit, actually, Bruce, when it was up in the air, but it came in fairly high. It looked by the arm to me. I think he thought he was a bit lucky to get that.
Neagle and Detman having a go at one another about 20 metres away. Roberts tries to curl it back. Never really gave it a chance. Fosdyke did it very, very well. Or brilliantly done, Fosdyke. Finally gets it to Neagle. Neagle throws it out to Greg Thomas. Good tackle, though. Woodville will get away with it as John Parker gives it across towards Chris Shear. Shear finally picks it up. McIntosh holding the ball. Shear's out of touch.
Oh, yeah, he's in a bit of trouble, and it wasn't an easy one to take. Beautiful tackle by McIntosh. He was right on him. Not a bad kick either. Roberts hit him right in the nose. He put his hands up, would have marked it. The kick was accurate as you'd like. Max Parker puts his hand in the opponent's face. No penalty. McIntosh, you're going to get into it now. He's had a bit of a quiet time, so he's back in the centre. He's played very well when shifted there in recent matches. Very strong little player. He certainly knows how to get in after the ball.
30 minutes gone.
Magnificent kick, flighted beautifully to Button, lobbed in his arms again. Big fella's always got to do is kick it. If he can get Neagle out of his road. And finally, Neagle ducking and weaving to avoid Neil Button, and Neil Button ducking and weaving just chips a little one over the top for 15 goals 10. That's the ton, leading Woodville 6 goals 3, 39. It's a great day for a ton too, isn't it, Bruce?
It certainly is. You could play cricket on a day like today. Button's got 2. I worked it out last night that if Norwood kicked 30-20 to 10-10, they'd go above Sturt into second position. And it's not beyond them because they're exactly half that at the moment, and we're not quite into half-time.
Neil Hine and John Parker. Parker just laying it forward to Shear. Beautiful handball by Shear. Across to Coop. Ace pinches it into half-forward. Keith Thomas. Wide to Neville Roberts. Simpson's on his tail. Roberts just evading, playing with the ball, full of confidence. Recovery by Simpson, excellent. He can't take possession, though, when he gets his turn, so it goes out of bounds. Roberts, he knows how to play for the free, too, Bruce. You've got to keep your eye on him. He just plays with the ball until such time as he's ready to take it. And on a one-on-one situation, what a difficult customer.
Not the fastest runner around, but, geez, covered some territory today. Michaelani lays it back. Bolton, Michael Ace robbed it beautifully of Bolton, and a ball up at centre half forward. So Norwood have kicked 8-6 to 3 goals. Woodville went goal for goal for about 15 minutes, but all of a sudden they've stopped. Michael Annie, well done John Parker, Keith Thomas and also Coop. Thomas has got a bit of toe. Coop runs him to the boundary line. Thomas keeps it in as far as Neagle. Neagle fell over. Keith Thomas around his body, looking towards Michael Lanny, Max Parker, Matheson. Michael Ace from centre half forward should just walk in and put it through, and that's what the McGarry medalist does. That's his first. Norwood a 16-10. Ace has got 1-2, and Woodville a 6-3.
Yes, it was well done then by Neagle out on that boundary line. Had the ball underneath his body. He was tackled. He just clipped the ball up to Keith Thomas, and Keith Thomas got it across towards Jim Michaelani, and then a bounce towards Michael Ace, and Ace just walked in, kicked another of those mully rubber kicks he's been kicking all day, but on this occasion it was right in the right place, straight through for full points.
Neil Hine and Max Parker, or John Parker, not sure what Norwood's record score is, but they've got 16-10 already, and it's not half-time. Beecroft towards Bolton. Bolton's had the job of standing on Michael Ace. Ace catches him on that occasion. Ace has had 16 kicks to half-time, and as the siren sounds, Norwood supporters would be pretty happy. They're 16-10, 106. Woodville is 6 goals, 339. Hine in the ruck against McLeod. Free kick again against Woodville for 5 in the centre. That's the second time. Hine towards centre half forward. Button standing his ground. Roberts, a spectacular mark. Great mark by Roberts. He's going to play it on straight away to McIntosh. McIntosh can walk in and kick a goal, and he has. 25-11 to 8-4. This is Norwood at their best.
The Woodville at their worst, I'd say, Bruce. That was a beautiful mark by Neville Roberts. He had a quick look over the shoulder. McIntosh ran on from the centre for him. And a magnificent handball. It got to McIntosh very quickly. I think Norwood might be giving McIntosh an interchange between half forward and at centre. I think they're playing Michael Ace at the centre at times as well as Keith Thomas.
Neil Bum's got so many to call on.
Yeah, 3 centremen. Neil Hine and Tim McLeod. McLeod gets his hands on the ball, Fuller grabs it, gives it across to Coop. Bolton rather. Handballs it forward to Matheson. Matheson into the full forward zone. Front position there by Warhurst. Tapped away. Just run out of bounds there by Noble.
This is an important period for Norwood, Robert. As I said earlier, if they can kick 30-20 to 10-10, they take Sturt's position in second place, and it's on the cards that they'll do that.
They'll kick 35 at their present rate. Hine from the front, Colasanti from the back. Keith Thomas takes possession. Across to Tom Warhurst, slow old handball. Player's not able to tackle him, no. He goes long out towards Greg Thomas. Stemper, Schmal, Warhurst. Played very well, Tom Warhurst, in defence. Big fellow, half forward is Button. He's played well also. They haven't had too many passages. Everyone's fitting into the pattern with the long kick to half forward. Detman intercepting. Fuller. Back to Matheson, who's dropped into that space in the centre. It's a lovely kick forward. Till making possession. He runs under the ball. Keith Thomas backing up though. Handball doesn't carry much. The big fellows, no handball or bloke, 6'6". Macareth, Coop. And now an easy goal here for Matheson. All he has to do is kick it. And he's done just that. Andrew Matheson from the centre wing, working hard. Woodville coming back into the game. Probably that little bit of looseness that is created by the mistake running up the ground. Woodville rebounded from it from the half-forward line, and now they've got a goal. They're 9-4. Norwood, 25 goals, 11.
Matheson's had 17 kicks, and that's his first goal. Very big kick-getter. One of Woodville's longest-serving players, over 50 games, and they haven't got too many of them just at the moment. It's Hine in the ruck against McLeod. Shadows at Adelaide Oval starting to come across towards the centre square. They will in the last quarter. Neagle got it across towards Jenkins. Jenkins towards the goal front. Michael Annie getting set with Parker. Oh, strong mark, Michael Annie in the front spot.
Oh, yes, that was a beautiful mark. On the jump, he timed his leap perfectly. Just beat the spoil. He attempted the spoil at Max Parker, but just was not equal to the occasion.
Michael Annie's taken 11 marks today, Robert, and kicked 3-1.
He took a few dropping into that half-back line early in the game, Bruce.
From about 25 metres out, it goes straight through. So Jim Michael Annie getting amongst them has got 4. And Norwood have kicked 10 goals this quarter. They're 26-11 to 9-4.
It's funny, I just mentioned a little while ago, I didn't think they were playing all that well. Then they just keep going away. Their marking power is just awesome up in that forward line through Button and Michael Annie. The two of them are able to mark enough balls per quarter to enable them to have something like 4 to 5 set shots for goal, let alone any run-on play that's going to be created by Roberts or Aish or Thomas or the little fellows Nagel and Greg Thomas.
Neil Hine and Tim McLeod. 31.5 minutes gone. Woodville have maintained their standard. They've kicked 3 in each of the terms so far. Danny Jenkins from the centre, high tackle, he'll get the free kick. He'll play it on quickly to Hine. Hine plays it on with a little one. McIntosh on a half-forward flank missed it. Simpson's been very quiet. Drew 2 players to him and gave it to Lennon. Michael Aish will try and run him down. Adler played beautifully today, Adler.
Didn't take his eye off that ball for even a fraction of a second.
Till in trouble.
Lacks the pace at half-back to get away with that one. Big Warhurst, what a beautiful play. He's got a bit of chance of being a very good player for Norwood, I'd say, in that defensive action. Hine kicking the ball forward. It's Button with the recovery, taps it on, then recovers again for himself. He went for the one-hand pick-up, left it behind. Beautiful handball to the space, giving McIntosh the run. He decides not to go on. Comes back on his left leg. Roberts from the front this time. Michael Annie lets him go, picks it up, gives it to Roberts. Roberts over the shoulder. Goal.
7 goals to Rocky Roberts, and what a great left-foot snap it was. Norwood 27-11, Woodville 9-4.
Yeah, it's very well done by Michael Annie, though. He allowed Roberts to fly from the front spot. He didn't interfere with him, and then when it came off hands, Michael Annie quickly down after the ball, picked it up, whipped the ball across to Roberts, and Roberts over the right shoulder and through for full points. Another magnificent kick. Beautiful bit of team play up there by Norwood.
Had 15 kicks and kicked 7 goals from a half-forward flank. It's Neil Hine against Tim McLeod, a procession at the moment at the Adelaide Oval. Hine went backwards at times. Stepper missed it. Dowsett tried to break the tackle of Jarvis. Got it towards Coop. Coop did that well. Handball not all that good, but it'll get towards Fuller. Fuller gets down. Over the top, Matheson will take his 18th kick, and he should kick it to Macareth at centre half forward. He didn't, though, and he kicked it straight to Noble. That was poor, Rob.
Unbelievable.
Macareth was there. Noble to Keith Thomas. Jim Teals had a ton of kicks in this term. Schmal, not the quickest player. Will it sit at will? He'll break Heaven's tackle. Heaven fell over. Schmal gets it back towards Jenkins and also Scanlon. Getting in their road benching will take a free kick.
Yeah, Scanlon grabbed at the body. Player not in possession. In possession, Benchick wide to McLeod.
Tried hard, McLeod, Robert.
Tries hard, fell over on taking that mark. Need to fall over, don't know why he did. Seemed to miss the ground when he came down. High to half forward. From the front spot, Hugo Colasanti. Beautiful fly at the ball. They'll get a free kick for in the back. As the siren sounds, 4 3/4 time. And I know, sure that Hugo will take the kick. Whether he'll get the distance is debatable. But Norwood at the moment are 27 goals 11. Woodville 9-4. And Hugo with an opportunity to make it 10-4.
What would it be, 45, 50 metres?
50. We need a 50-metre kick.
Love to kick one against his old side. Getting a big cheer.
He's got the distance.
And I think he's got it. Hugo's kicked the goal. And so Woodville get one after the siren. Hugo Colasanti with his first. 10-4 Woodville, 27-11 Norwood. And the last quarter was fairly even with Norwood 31-16, 202 to Woodville 13-11, 89. And Rocky Roberts got 11. He's got 21 in the last 2 matches. And that 11 goals against Woodville was a record score for a Norwood player. And ironically, it surpassed the previous record by another half-forward flanker, Roger Woodcock, who got 9 in May of 1974. Greg Thomas 5, Michael Lanny 4, Button and Michael Age both 3. And for Woodville, Pearson still getting goals with 4, Beecroft 2 and Benchick 2. It's all looking good for Norwood at the moment, Neville. I think 6 or 7 weeks ago at the same oval, South Adelaide beat you, and since then you haven't lost a game. Now, you've got a pretty hard run in, but you've got 2 important games at Norwood. Yeah. You're looking at a double chance, you're looking at a big premiership chance.
Yeah, we set the target today that if we won, we went into 3rd spot. If we won well, we went into 2nd spot, and then we set it, and we just look at every game after that. And I think that last 2 weeks ago and today, we've really, Norwood have established a pattern of play, which really, now we can say amongst ourselves that we are a chance, providing we keep that standard and work hard and work well, because even though we'd won up till Sturt, we'd only been very ordinary. And I think our standard now and our style and our run-on is we're taking risks and we're looking all right.
How many players did Rod Olsen play on you today?
I don't know, about 3 or so.
I remember one of them, Chris Shear.
Yeah, I remember him too, yeah.
What did he say to you when he put his arm around you at one stage?
Oh, he just said he'd be there till 5 o'clock.
Well, Neil, you've got 4 weeks to the finals. Now, how many players do you think are injured at the moment or playing in the reserves that can put pressure on the 20 that were out there today?
Well, there's quite a few actually just playing in the reserves who are always in contention, and plus there's the likes of the Greg Nicholsons and Philip Gallagher's who will certainly be around the place.
Well, Barmy, this is your 3rd year. You haven't been able to get the double chance before this year, and I think you've really thought that's what's cost Norwood a premiership so far since you've been there. They've finished 2nd and 3rd. Now you're really in a good position to wrap up a double chance in the next 4 weeks.
Well, yes, today was the first test because we had to win and win well, and Woodville played fairly well last week, but we've got over that hurdle, and now we've got another 4 very hard games to go. But you know, we're in a good position, and it's up to us. If we do play well, we'll get a double chance for sure.
Well, Trevor, another disappointing performance.
Yeah, one of the better ones, that's for sure.
What went wrong, do you think?
Oh, we weren't first to the ball, and they had plenty of runners, and we didn't, run on, sort of thing.
They jumped you, of course. They kicked 5 goals really before you got started. That never helps.
No, it doesn't help, but we should have been good enough to come back.
What about from a personal point of view? Is it difficult at the moment playing at full forward when the side is going so poorly?
Oh, not really. You just got to make the most of opportunities.
Well, you've got 76 goals this season. I think I read this morning the club record's about 86. Is that something you'll be aiming for?
Yeah, it's about the only thing I can aim for at this stage.
A disappointed Trevor Pearson after the game. And as we look at the premiership table, Port Adelaide on the top, and they've pinched a game and a half on the opposition, and Norwood almost pinched 2nd off Sturt. They're within 0.2%, so it's Port, Sturt, Norwood, West and Glenelg, and they've got a break on Central Districts, who still have some hope when you have a look at the run home. North Adelaide playing well, but without a hope now of making the finals, and South Torrens and Woodville still yet to have won a game. And as we look at the leading goal kickers, Tim Evans with 9. Now, we'll be having a direct telecast of the game between South and Port Adelaide next Sunday week, and Evans hopefully will get the 100 in that game, especially if you're a Port supporter. So he's got 96. Pearson 76. Edwards didn't play today, was 72. Davies didn't play, was 70. Reynolds 62, played the last game in the reserves. Wright with 59 and Roger Luders with 59. Over the border today, and North Melbourne continued on their winning way, 22-18, 150 to Geelong 11-12, 78. Hawthorn were 15 points behind Collingwood at one stage in the final term. Lethal Lee got 8, that's Matthews, so it's 20-20, 140 to 16-22, 118. Essendon trailed all day against Melbourne, got up and won by 6 in the end, 20-17, 137 to 14-17, 101. Richmond 16-16, 112. Footscray 7-8, 50. Fitzroy 21-16, 142. St Kilda 11-12, 78. And that important game tomorrow live on 7, Carlton against the Swans. And as we look at the ladder, we can see the importance of the game. Richmond on top, a game and a half clear of Hawthorn. Carlton can go back to second with a win tomorrow. Essendon and North, and of course the Swans must win to maintain any hope of playing in the major round. Fitzroy keep winning, but they can't make any ground on North at the moment. So the things to look forward to: tomorrow at 12:30, the VFL replay, and then at 1:45, live from the Sydney Cricket Ground, the game between the Swans and Carlton. Should be a beauty. And next Saturday night, 2 great games on the big replay: Glenelg and Norwood at Football Park, virtually a game for the double chance, and Western Central's at Richmond, Central District's last hope. If they win, they still have some hope. And the other important matches: Sturt against North at Unley, a danger game for Sturt. North in form, Sturt have lost 4 in succession. And Torrens and Woodville. Woodville perhaps their last hope of winning a game for 1982. West Torrens looking for a win. And then Port Adelaide against South Adelaide on the Sunday live here on 7. So there's a lot to look forward to. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.